Not because I didn't have a distrust for government, but because I had a distrust for government.
There it is. There it is.
You know, my children were in school at the time, and I did what every responsible parent does, and they wash your hands, you know, don't be sharing coats with other kids and all that. Hey, if you start feeling sick, let me know, because I thought there was some real aspect to the virus or the flu or whatever they want to call it. We quickly saw alleged leaders tuck their tails, hide in their offices, or stand up and completely overreach their authority and start to tell people what they can and can't do. I've always believed in the right to self-govern, and this is with anything in life. You know, a seatbelt law is an infraction, and as officers we have discretion whether or not we hand it out, but if you are involved in a car crash and as a result of not wearing your seatbelt, you've lost your life, I feel very sorry for your family and the people who cared for you because you chose a reckless decision, but at the end of the day, that was your decision. My own father, my grandmother was 83 years old, got COVID at the beginning. Those individuals flat out said, I'm gonna live my life, if this is it, I'm gonna be free, I'm gonna enjoy it. Why live in a bubble? You segregate yourself from your loved ones, and you're missing childbirths, the passing of loved ones, and we took that all away, and those never come back. You never get it back. So we started living in fear. Then came the mandatory mask things. If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. Do whatever makes you feel safe in life. I'm okay with that. That's why this is America. You have that choice. And if you feel okay not doing it, then don't do it either. Again, you have the right to self-govern. You know, the masks came on, the harassment of citizens at some levels started to happen. Not so much in this county, not directly from law enforcement anyways, but individuals started to, you know, so much for coexisting and being tolerant of each other, because then you had people attacking each other for wearing a mask or not wearing a mask. And quite honestly, I felt like an idiot when I put a mask on, you know? And so, and then came the shutdowns of our businesses, and then we got told who was better than the rest. And again, I said it earlier, who has a right to tell you that you're better than any one person in this world? I don't care how much money you make, where you live, where you were raised, none of that matters. We are all here equally. So the business is getting shut down. You know, there's things in both our state and federal constitution that talk about excessive fines. Some of these businesses got a felony dollar amount fine without due process. Some of our businesses in Cowlitz County are still fighting those fines, up to $1 million worth. Some of them were told by the courts that there was nothing criminal, you didn't do anything wrong, but we're still going to impose a fine. Where's the money going? How's it helping the pandemic? And then why did you only do it to the small businesses that were just trying to make it, some of which had low-income family members working there, literally putting their check went to put food on the table or to live in their 1 or 2 bedroom apartment because that's the best they could afford. But they were doing right, they were being productive members of society, but they were told you couldn't do that anymore. And then months down the road before they can collect an unemployment check or anything, then we said, oh, you know, you don't have to pay your rent. That's okay, don't pay your rent. Well, then the landowners, the managers that had these businesses, the apartments and all that, they still had to pay their bills to the government. They still pay for their loans, but they weren't getting the income now that they were getting from rent because of all this. So it was just a big trickle down. The thing that I'm going to do different when I'm elected is if the governor comes in to overstep in our county again, and these officials who did not go to a law enforcement academy come in to issue their ridiculous fines, I'm going to show up, we're going to start talking, and I'm not moving. I'm going to plant my feet, I'm going to stay there, and where that goes from there, you know, we'll see. But I'm not moving, and they're leaving, because clear violations of your rights, due process, excessive fines, those are pretty common things. It's pretty easy to see that. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. I know I'm not a doctor or scientist, you know, but it's the facts. And we're being taxed to death right now, whether it's a gas tax or anything else. It's not stopping. So, like I said, the first thing I'm going to do, because the businesses I think were the biggest ones who took a hit to this, whether it was a daycare or a restaurant or you name it, I'm going to show up in my official capacity, and I'm going to let that L&I representative know that you don't have jurisdiction in my county, and then you need to go back to Mr. Inslee. We can have a conversation. I can tell him it doesn't need rewritten, it needs reread, and I will educate you, sir, respectfully if you choose to do so.